In a cold, oak-paneled courtroom, echoing with whispers of injustice, Grace Mitchell sat silently at the defendant's table, her posture regal, her eyes defiant. To the world she was Brenda Clark, an alias crafted to protect her true identity. The courtroom was packed, not with spectators but with officers from the 17th Precinct, most of whom knew Grace only as the black woman they'd arrested during a protest. None realized she was, in fact, an undercover civil rights attorney investigating systemic abuse in the department. At the bench, Judge Ronald Greaves adjusted his glasses, the lines in his face deepening with disdain. His reputation for siding with the police was notorious. Beside Grace, public defender Marta Reyes whispered, "We can ask for a continuance." "No," Grace interrupted. "This ends today." As the bailiff called the room to order, the lead arresting officer, Sergeant Wade Cullens, swaggered to the witness stand. A man who once laughed, while pepper-spraying peaceful protesters, now straightened his uniform like it granted him moral clarity. He began a rehearsed narrative about non-compliance and aggressive behavior. "She refused to obey direct police orders," he said. Greaves nodded, almost pleased. "Did the defendant resist arrest?" "She did. She wouldn't kneel as instructed." Gasps rose from the audience. Grace stood. "Your Honor, may I speak?" Greaves leaned forward, annoyed. "You'll speak when—" "I won't kneel," she said, voice clear and unwavering. "Not then. Not now. Not ever, to a corrupt system built on oppression." Marta froze. Cullens blinked in confusion. The room fell silent. Grace reached into her satchel and placed a file on the table. Documents, photographs, audio recordings. These prove excessive force and fabricated charges by members of the 17th Precinct, including Sergeant Cullens. Greaves barked, "Bailiff, seize that evidence!" But the bailiff hesitated. Grace turned to the courtroom cameras. "I'm Grace Mitchell, civil rights attorney and federal investigator. Everything said today is being live-streamed to the Department of Justice and the media." The tension snapped. Reporters outside the courthouse caught the broadcast within minutes. Grace's real identity now public, the judge stood paralyzed. Cullens, visibly sweating, tried to leave, but was stopped by federal marshals entering the room. Grace faced the judge once more. "You've spent years silencing voices like mine, but today you answer to justice." The gavel cracked like thunder, but this time it echoed defeat. Outside, the crowd cheered as Judge Greaves and Sergeant Cullens were escorted away in cuffs, symbols of a system finally being held accountable, and in the center stood Grace Mitchell, tall and proud, having refused to kneel, and in doing so, bringing a corrupt courtroom to its knees.